I don't like your new fucking videos. You need new friends and shit. So, I've been doing a lot of soul searching, as many of you know. Not just in terms of my life's, goals and the things I want for the channel and the kind of content I want to produce, but I've branched out from nutrition. I started with minimalism, with sprinkling one of those in here or there. Then I did the car camping stuff, which will continue to do. There will be car camping trips, mainly probably when the winter comes and I want to travel south and get out of the winter for a little bit. And there'll be short-term trips because I do have obligations that keep me tethered to New York. But, I feel like there's a little bit of a mixed reaction going on in terms of the adventure videos and the survival videos and some of my new guest stars who I'm introducing you to. A lot of people get stuck in this pattern of wanting to see me do the same shit over and over and over again. Now, this is not to say I'm not going to do nutrition videos. Obviously, there's plenty of ammo to keep me talking on the things, but most of the questions and advice that I get asked, I've already done videos on. They're throughout the history of the channel. This has been a journey for me, and you guys are along for the ride on my personal journey. I'm not like letting people dictate where that journey takes me necessarily. I like the constructive criticism. I like that people are trying to give me advice, but there are some people who feel a little entitled when it comes to the content that I put out on my channel. This is my journey. I'm making the decisions on where this goes, where I take the channel, where the future content comes from, and who I hang out with and the things I've exposed myself to. But that being said, that doesn't mean I'm going to take a shit on my principles and the things I believe in. And a lot of you people, a lot of people have been kind of, interpreting the fact that I'm hanging out with people that have tons of unhealthy habits is a compromise of my own. I have not compromised my own health. I am still perfectly fine. I've taken more risks, obviously, but when you go out in the wilderness, you're exposing yourself. Like, if you look at my poison ivy that I picked up out there, it's kind of not fun. But it's a matter of finding balance in my life at this point. With the stuff I want to do and the stuff I have to do. And obviously, a lot of you are here for the nutrition, fasting, and minimalism videos, more so the nutrition and fasting crowd. And I know as I branch out, I am going to lose some of that crowd and hopefully pick up some other, people who don't give a shit about nutrition, who don't give a shit about fasting or minimalism, or who are just entertained or intrigued by the idea but don't actually want to take the leap themselves. And I understand that that's a new crowd. And the reason I want to reach out to new people is I feel like it's not fulfilling to me to preach to the choir. To a lot of people who watch me have done this, are just looking to me to keep them doing it, and which is fine, and I will continue to do that. But I also want to bring new people to the channel, people who aren't even searching for this shit, people like the friends that you see me hanging out with in these videos. You got to understand, I'm surrounded by people in my personal life that do not subscribe to this, channel or watch my videos or whatever, because they're not interested in health and wellness and diet, and they have their own opinions on it, and I'm not going to change their minds. There's nothing I can do about it. And does that mean that I shouldn't hang out with them because they don't believe what I believe or practice what I practice? No, absolutely not. I never pictured when I started doing the wilderness fast, when I started to do adventure videos, car camping, travel, and now backpacking and survival. I want to kind of go through the reasons I'm doing these videos and why I'm sharing them with you, and how they fit into my personal journey and how they could possibly fit into yours. These are all things that I've stepped outside the box on, and son of a bitch, leave me alone. These are all things I've stepped outside the box on, and I hope to kind of show everybody that it's helping me as a person grow far beyond anywhere I was before. This has been a hell of a journey for me. You see people smoking in my videos right now, who are friends. I can't tell them to stop smoking. It's not like they don't know it's not fucking healthy for you. I mean, come on now. They know their habits are not healthy. It's not my place to tell them to stop. And it's not your place to tell me to choose my friends accordingly, And despite how big a fan you may be, whether or not you support the channel financially, I'm not going to allow people to dictate that for me. This is my choices, my decisions, and you may agree with them or disagree. I can't keep everybody on this channel happy going forward. I'm going to do the best I can to provide what you want to do, but at the same time, if I pander to the subscribers and the contributors, then I'll burn out. The channel will die because I won't want to do it anymore. I won't have the passion for it anymore. I won't want to produce content anymore if that is all I'm doing, is pandering to the, preaching to the choir. I don't want to just preach to the choir. And I'm also getting, that I want to be able to share my growth and my mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. Even now, even with the knowledge I have, I'm going to disappoint people. I'm going to let people down. And that's okay. It's okay to fucking do that. Because in the end, it's about what we do for ourselves and how we take care of ourselves that matters. Not whether or not I surround myself with people who are doing unhealthy things, who aren't doing the things and the progress and the journey that I've been on. And if anything, I learn from people. A lot of my videos are inspired by people in my personal life that are doing those things. And rather than bombard them with it when they probably don't want to fucking hear it, I get on here and talk to the people who do want to fucking hear it. And that's how I've helped a lot of people on this channel, is I'm reaching out to people who are struggling, who there's plenty of content out there on the ketogenic diet. There's plenty of content. I just noticed the other day that Dr. Berg is running these fucking insanely long commercials on my channel for his website and to become a member and to learn recipes and the ins and outs of the ketogenic diet. I could go down that path, but that's really not where my personal growth ends. I've conquered my nutritional health at this point. I feel comfortable with the way I eat. I feel comfortable with the way I look, with my energy levels, with my health. And I'm trying to grow the mental health. I've been working the mental health side of things, which is equally as important. What good is perfect fucking physical health if you're fucking wreck? And I'm not a wreck. And I would like to help other people who are further behind the curve when it comes to mental health, with emotional well-being, with anxiety, with depression. I see a lot of it in the people in my lives, including the people that come out with me on these videos. Steve and Christy are both going through a tough time in their lives. very difficult time that some of which I've already done and some of which I can't even fathom. And you got to understand that leads to addictions. That leads to self-medication. That leads to doing anything that's possible. And as you heard in one of the videos, if you bothered to watch, Steve has come out and said that he hasn't been this excited in a long time about anything coming out on these overnight trips. And that means a lot to me. These are good people I'm friends with that have had a rough go at it. They're having a rough time dealing with the stresses, the pitfalls, and the setbacks that have come to them in their lives. I've dealt with a lot of mine. It's not mean I'm not here to say that I'm perfect and I'm there. I'm still working, and I will always work to maintain what I've already achieved mental health wise, to not regress or fall backwards into the pit of depression, anxiety, and misery. And part of that is living my life how I'm choosing to live it and learning the things that I want to learn. So let me read the letter and respond to the letter that kind of inspired this video. It came in via ScottTheTruckDriver.com. Also, real quick before I get into that, I do want to say thank you to those of you who purchased the podcast. That completely is making up, the podcast is making up for the ad revenue shortfall for the people that are unsubscribing because they don't like some of the content that I'm producing, even though I'm still doing the regular videos, albeit not as often because I don't have as much time. I am doing Uber. I've doubled down on my part-time job just to fill in the gaps financially and survive and continue to do the things in my life that I want to do. That being said, those of you who support this channel, who have helped me, and I've committed to do these weekly podcasts for those people who are probably the most loyal, fans of the channel, or that I've helped the most, or they feel that they want to help me continue to do this. And I'm very appreciative that there's still plenty of positive support. But I'm trying to address the people that are not happy with the content. I did notice a drop in subscribers when I posted my last video, my last couple videos really. I'm still in a positive balance. The channel is still very, very slowly growing. However, I do want to kind of set the record straight with those who may be on the fence thinking about unsubscribing, who aren't finding value in my content anymore. I'm still going to do my original nutrition stuff. Probably one video a week will be nutritional. I've got a grain video I'm working on this week. I know I've been promising it a while. I'm actually going to film it today. And, I'm filming this, 2 videos in one day, so they're not going to be heavy on production quality, talking head mainly. But I'm still going to go do my trips. I'm still going to learn my survival skills and share that experience in addition to that. And I don't want to split it up among a bunch of channels. If you don't like a video, I'm honest in the topic. If you read the descriptions of the videos, I tell you what the video is essentially about, and if you're not interested, don't watch it. It's really kind of that simple. It's I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on the videos, but I'm also getting probably some resistance on the new content. And here's an example of it. This comes from Kama, Kama, via ScottTheTruckDriver.com in the comment sections of my blog. I just realized that those were coming through today too. I hadn't seen them, and I realized there was a backlog of unmoderated comments. So I'm going to keep on top of that going forward so that people who want to comment externally from YouTube or who want to talk to me through the podcast stuff, you can comment right there in the blog post pertaining to whatever. I encourage you to go to ScottTheTruckDriver.com if you want to help the channel. Karma, baby, karma. And by the way, Kama is a supporter for the channel. He or she, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, is a patron on Patreon, and I'm aware of this. So will you continue to be so? I don't know. We'll see. But I wanted to respond to this because it did kind of irk me a little bit. It didn't trigger me, but it gave me some soul searching and some food for thought. Go ahead and watch your friends smoke death sticks and make derogatory vagina remarks. Okay, I want to address that first. I joke when things get rough, and when you're in survival situations or you're hiking and backpacking and things are rough for me, especially not being quite, fit enough to handle some of these, I'm way outside my comfort zone when I'm doing those trips, when I'm doing those videos. Like, I am not, to me, before, hiking was throwing on a light backpack with some water in it, walking around, going back to the car. That was what hiking was for me. I've taken it up a notch to backpacking, where I'm carrying heavy weights, camera gear on top of the heavy weight, spending the night, multi-day hikes. Eventually, I want to do through hikes, which are not only multi-day hikes, but you start in one area and end in another area. These are all goals, personal goals for me, that I believe will help me grow as a person, will make me appreciate the things I have in life that much more, will make me a better person overall. And, I thought I was going to be on this journey by myself doing these things. I thought I was going to be that lone hiker in the woods, kind of like alone. And other people started to find value in that experience, in getting out there and accomplishing a 14-mile heavy-duty, fully geared hike over the course of 2 days. That is an experience, a lifetime memory experience that you take with you once you leave that trail. And it influences how you view the world. It influences how you relate to people, and it really puts the life we live in perspective. It puts health in perspective. It puts diet in perspective when you see what's available to eat out there and what you have to go through to survive. That's one of the reasons I do these, and I want to learn it, is because I often have preached to you that to be optimally healthy, we have to eat close to nature. We have to be the way nature designed us, and we have to live in the environments not that we've made, but the environments that nature produced for us to live in. And nature is a dangerous environment to survive in. Now, one could argue we've overcome all of that shit. We've got the technology that we don't need to do that anymore. I understand those arguments. But the further away you get from the way nature made us and the environments nature provided for us to survive in, the further we get from that, the more chronic disease we experience, the more mental health issues we experience, and our things go downhill really quickly. And I do have even more people interested. But when I'm in these situations, I tend to be a very sarcastic, a little bit warped humor motherfucker, and I'm going to joke. And anyone that knows me knows I do not like the outrage culture, this triggered fucking culture that gets offended every 10 seconds. It's one of the reasons I refuse to stop swearing or censoring my videos or any of that shit. I don't care if they take my fucking ad revenue or even ban my channel for that matter. I'm not going to compromise for someone else getting butthurt over the things I say. And I'm also not going to censor the people who I bring along out there, or who are on this journey, or who are just starting out in many ways. Christy is just starting out with keto. She's still smoking. She's still drinking. She's still doing a lot of very unhealthy things. But if you don't take that first fucking step, you're not going to take the next step, and then step after that. You have to want it. You have to want it for the right reasons, too. You have to want to improve your life. You have to want to feel better. You have to want to have a better lifestyle. You want to have more control. You want to not be a wage slave. These are all steps on this journey, and this is the journey I'm on and sharing with you on this channel. And it goes beyond nutrition. It goes beyond just lifestyle and minimalism. It's also goes into philosophy and how you deal with people who aren't like you. And I have a very diverse array of friends who believe very differently on multiple things. And the reason I'm able to maintain those friendships is I don't judge them. I can disagree with them all day. I can debate with them if they're mature enough to do that. Some people are not, by the way, mature enough to have a good, honest debate. They get upset and then they're not friends anymore. I've had a few of those over the years, and bye. If that's the kind of person that I'm dealing with, I don't cry when they get triggered and leave. I just press on and do my thing, and I find that I have a pretty good social life because of that. Also, I haven't really announced it yet. I am dating someone, seeing someone exclusively again. Nothing super serious, but it's a step up from just being single. I'm not single anymore per se. And the person I'm dating is also not doing anything healthy. You guys haven't met her yet. And when she's ready, I'll introduce you guys to her. But I'm not here to... She's also had a rough go at things. And, one of the reasons that her and I click is there's no judgment back and forth. There's no pressure. It's a very comfortable relationship that I'm having there. And I've become good friends with Steve for the same reason. We're not judging each other, We both have lived fucked up lives throughout our life. We both have done things. I'm friends with Mike, too. I've known Mike a very long time, also. And I've known Christy for quite a while as well. And I consider them good people, despite their flaws. And they have flaws. We all do. I have flaws, too. There's things that I do that they probably don't agree entirely with. And because they don't judge me on that, and they don't treat me any differently for that, that's why we're friends. You can surround yourself with people who think like you, who act like you, who do the same shit that you do, and I'm telling you, you're going to have a boring existence at that point. You're going to be stroking each other all fucking day on the same shit, and you're not really going to learn anything from each other, I'm learning a lot from Steve, in terms of survival and I don't know if you've noticed, but he's also been kind of trying to preach my mindset. He's, I get this little bit of a defeatist thing going. Mainly it's me talking about, I let it out when I'm having a rough time or when things are like on the hike out, I was bitching up a storm. I was, commenting and he was bullshitting me about the hills to try and motivate me. He's pretty good at motivation and a little bit of leadership in that realm, whereas I might lack a little bit in that department, so I'm learning some of that from him. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go smoke or drink my ass off or any of the other things that people do. That I'm surrounded by. I value people for the lessons they teach me, for the perspective they give me, and I want to help them with the things I've learned. And I believe I'm doing so. I believe that Steve is in a better place now because we're doing these adventures and these hikes. I believe that Christy is also benefiting from them, and she's trying to go keto and learn as much as she can. I get messages all the time from her. Can I do this? Can I do that? Much like many of you send me messages asking me these things that I might not have covered in my videos. So I just wanted to kind of say that I'm going to joke. I'm not going to censor myself. I'm not going to censor them and their jokes, which may offend somebody, And if it offends you, then yes, don't watch. It's really that simple. I would rather have a good crowd of tolerant, people who are happy with what I do than have somebody that's going to be butthurt anytime I make an inappropriate joke or anytime I make a mistake for that matter. And I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to put out bad videos. I'm going to put out things that might piss you off, that you don't agree with. It's going to happen. Mark it on your fucking calendar. Get out your calendar right now on your phone and write down for the next fucking 1 year, an event all day, every day. Scott the Truck Driver is probably going to piss me off at some point. And then you decide if you want to continue to consume my channel and my content based on that. But I want to be real with you. I want to be me. And I'm going to be me, or the channel is not going to happen. I don't have to do this. I really don't. I can survive without YouTube. I do this because I'm helping people. I do this because I hope to help more people. And I do this to make a living, to support those first two goals. I'm not here to get rich. I'm here to survive. And I'm going to survive. And I'm always going to put out videos. And I'm always going to try and help people. Even if I don't make a fucking dime on YouTube. It's just a matter of time. I have to spend time doing other things, obviously, if I can't afford to spend the time doing this. Like today, for example. Instead of going to hang out with a friend, I chose to sit down and make this video, and I'll be making another video after this so that I can provide you guys with content. Wednesday, I have an adventure trip, which will be filmed also. Then I have all the editing that goes with that. Then I have Friday, I got to put together the podcast. I'll probably start putting that together Thursday. So that I can get that out before I go and work my part-time job. All the while, I'm sprinkling Uber in to fill in the gaps. That's how hectic my life schedule is. And I make time at night, after it's all said and done, when it's getting close to bedtime, to hang out with the woman I'm seeing. And, it's a balance. It's a balancing act. It's time management. And my time is constantly working. I'm constantly doing something related to this channel and related to my journey. And if I don't bring you guys along for the ride on the survival stuff and the hiking stuff, I'm still going to do it. And believe me, I'd like to not carry the 10 to 12 pounds of fucking camera gear with me when I do it. But I do that so that I'm providing content for all of you at the same time. Anyways, continuing with Kama's letter. I got a little long-winded there. Not your highest point, Scott. I have never felt offended by your comments, but this vlog, things changed. All of you need to put your dicks back in your pants and put on your big boy pants. I have always enjoyed your rants and shit. This is the first time I'm pissed off about vagina and nature jokes. You guys suffered, then made vagina and nature jokes. Interesting how who we hang out with affects our behavior and shit. That's a very judgmental statement, by the way. That's not, that's not coming from a good place. You're being critical of me. I'm also going to return the favor. Friends are important, but it is important not to compromise who we are and shit. Be mindful, be kind, forgive. And I understand you're coming from a place of caring when you're being critical. And I'm not trying to upset you, but I am going to respond in kind. That's how I deal with suffering. I joke. And my humor is offensive. It's going to be offensive. As for them walking around in their underwear, that's what they chose to do. It's part of the story, and I thought it was funny, to be honest with you. And maybe not everybody is into that, and I understand. And I'm not requiring anybody to watch these. You don't have to watch them. They're pretty obvious. They stand out like a sore thumb from the Talking Head videos, especially since I title and keyword appropriately and do a description of the video. So you don't have to watch them, and I encourage you not to if it's going to upset you. I won't be butthurt, and if the channel dies because I'm doing these things, if everyone says, well, fuck this guy, I'm not watching his shit anymore, and there's a few of you that will, and probably it's a daily thing. I get turnover constantly. There are people that come in, they subscribe, they hang out for a while, they leave. And the only reason the channel's growing is there's more people coming in than there are leaving. There may come a point when everybody leaves. And I'm aware of that. Everything has a beginning and an end. I will do this as long as that number's positive. If people start abandoning and jumping ship and it dies, then it dies. And I move on to something else. The journey's not going to change. Me putting out videos isn't going to change. Whether or not, even if there's nobody there to watch them, I'm still going to do this. And that's how I started. I started doing this with maybe fucking less than 100 subscribers when I started out. You can go back to my first fucking vlog, that's actually titled that, and see how unhealthy I was back then. See how far I've come. Not just physically, but emotionally. And I'm still me, and I'm still gonna be me. And I'm not gonna change or censor who I am for anybody. It's not gonna happen. This is who I am. If either you like it or you don't. And that's really what it boils down to. And I hope you stick around. I really do, because there is something to be learned in each video. I mean, if you watch that video all the way through before you got super offended, you know that I talked about fasting. I talked about the fact that I fasted the first day of that trip and how I was going to deal with it the next day if I felt bad. So there was even nutritional information in that video. There's little nuggets of wisdom spread throughout those adventure videos. We had the PTSD video, which was, adventure combined with a nice talk on PTSD and mental health and what these trips actually do. If you haven't watched it, I thought that was a particularly, dramatic video, particularly where Steve opened up about what he's getting out of these trips. And when you go out and you see the unhealthy aspects, and I hate to break it to you, that's the majority of people right now, at least in my life. Very few people have adopted my lifestyle changes. Very few people have adopted my diet changes. Many of them are caught in the mainstream media's pitch on how to be healthy, and they're following those things to do so, or they're getting surgery, or they're doing all these other things because they think that's the right thing to do. And I don't agree with all of it. But it's their decision, ultimately. And I don't stress out about what other people are doing with their lives. I don't feel the need to control anyone's life. And at the same time, I'm not going to let anybody, for any reason, control my life. That's why I took control of my life. That's why I jumped out of trucking, is I wanted full control of my life. And I am very resistant to anybody else trying to exert control over my life. And there's nothing that will entitle anybody to have that control in my life. I'm 42, I've been through the ringer, and I've come a long way from where I used to be. And I'm telling you, when you see them smoking, you see them drinking, you see them doing these unhealthy things that I have since stopped for the most part, with the exception of the drinking, which I still do. Just not as heavily. I have been, for the past couple weeks, really good about my 3-drink limit, twice a week max. And that's what I'm shooting for. And I'm finding that it's getting a little bit better with moderation. And as I see people around me that aren't exercising that moderation, it's making it actually easier for me to say I'm not going to fall down that rabbit hole that I could easily fall down at any time. And so I do get a lot from hanging out with people that aren't necessarily doing the same shit I'm doing, for not preaching to the choir, for hearing, some of the things that inspire me on these videos is people's response to the things I preach. I get some unique excuses as to why people can't do these things. I get some reasons and some insight into why things don't work. One of the things Christy is struggling with, for example, I don't think she'll mind me saying this, is emotional eating as part of that. And I want to do a whole video on that because I believe it's important. I believe it's something that people struggle with, and I believe it's one of the pitfalls that even keto might not fully address. And I'd like to see her conquer that. You know, I'd like to see a lot of people conquer that, which is why I share all of this. So don't be so quick to judge people who aren't there yet. You know, help them get there. And you're not going to help them get there by condemning and judging and pointing and saying, you are doing it wrong, you suck, I don't like you anymore, bye. That's not how you get people to change. It's not how you get people to improve. In fact, you'll just force them further down the rabbit hole if that's how you treat people. You got to treat them good. You got to be supportive. You know, don't compromise, and I haven't compromised the things that I believe. I'm on my diet. I'm in ketosis. I tested it. I checked regularly. I have my occasional cheat day, and I get a little alcohol in me from time to time. All right? I relax. I enjoy my life from time to time. I burn the candle at both ends, too. I'm more in the burn the candle at both ends area of my life right now. I haven't had time to just veg and chill and sit down. I'm busy a lot, very busy. I've doubled down on the amount of activities that I do, you know, and that's one of the things I need to work on. That these trips actually help me step away from the grind that's involved in running your own life and running your own businesses. You know, it's a grind. It's hard work. It requires constant attention, constant management. And constant time. And time is valuable. It's the thing I'm trying to reclaim the most. And the other reason I do these adventure videos and these survival videos is to integrate something I love doing with working, with producing this content. Bringing that camera out there, you don't know what I could learn. Or maybe I'm just going to be entertaining, or maybe I'm just going to trigger you and piss you off. You don't know what you're going to get when I take this camera out with me, but you're going to get something. You know, I do get a lot of positive feedback on those videos. It's just I know that not the entire audience that subscribes to me came here for those videos. And some people are just not interested in it at all. Just like there's a great deal of people that aren't interested in my nutrition videos, aren't interested in my minimalism, and aren't interested in my fasting videos. I could sit here and probably make good money just pandering, just telling people what they want to hear about the ketogenic diet, telling people what they want to hear about fasting, telling people what they want to hear about minimalism, but I would not be doing anyone any favors at that point. You know, because most of the people that go looking for that content, they are already there. They're already wanting to do these things. I'm helping them maintain it. I'm helping them grow. I'm helping them learn some things and to avoid some of the mistakes that are made. So there is value there. But for the most part, it's not bringing in new people into this. And honestly, if we're going to change things as a society, we need to bring new people who these concepts are foreign to, that this is way outside their comfort zone. And stepping outside your comfort zone and trying things that we're told not to try. We're told not to eat a certain way. We're told not to fast. All of these things that we've been told not to do our entire lives turns out are very, very healthy things, not just physically, but mentally. You got to take care of yourself. You do. And I'm taking care of myself. That's ultimately what these videos are for, is maintaining my sanity, giving me a way to integrate work with leisure in a way that is sustainable for me to continue this channel. And let me know in the comments what you think about all of this, because it's important for me, and it's a serious moment. I spent the past couple days contemplating this, in addition to finalizing some of my research for the grain video I want to do, which isn't going to be, it's a talking head video, basically a review of some of the literature that I've been reading on the subject and my thoughts on it. But I'm also researching future trips. I'm doing, so much work for this channel for so very little money, that I am confident when I say that I'm going to do the content I want. This channel is but one of 5 income streams for me. If it dies, I will replace it with something that is more lucrative, that allows me to do this, that allows me to continue to make videos, and also live my life, finish my journey. So what does the future hold for the channel? I'm sure that's the bottom line. It's part of the fucking title, for fuck's sakes. The future holds me branching out, doing different things, exploring different options in my life, and sharing that experience with you, based on the things I've already done and maintaining what I've accomplished so far. You know, there's so much out there to explore in lifestyle and health and mental health in particular. There are things that we've taken for granted over the years that we've neglected throughout our lives that could bring us more peace, more happiness, and more contentment. And I'm more content and happy now than I've been my entire life. And I'm not going to fuck that up. And I'm going to continue to work on myself and share it. Because I do believe it does, even if it helps one person, that's enough for me. I'd like to help more people. I'd like to share the experience. I'd like to entertain too, don't get me wrong. I try and be funny. I try and do the things that I do out there. That's me that you're seeing, making the fucked up jokes. You know, I'm not putting on a front. I'm not scripted. Someone else had mentioned. Actually, let me see. This message also stood out to me, and I did respond to it in the comments. R.L. Clark on my Bringing Back the Podcast video wrote, "I can't speak for everyone, but I started watching because of your personality. The direct, no-nonsense, real motherfucking language and shit. That has changed. It seems to have gotten more scripted," which it's not. I'm not scripting anything at all. You realize how much extra work it would be if I wrote a script for everything? I do put down bullet points for some of my talking head videos to make sure I get all the topics in. But once I read that bullet point and I start talking on it, I'm just flying on the knowledge that I accumulate, and so on and so forth. As for the stuff that's out in nature, none of that is scripted. You know, I'm filming as I go, and what happens happens. There's no scriptedness. I don't know what's coming off. Maybe I need to work on my presentation a bit. So I understand. I take that criticism seriously, and not as passion-filled from the real motherfucking heart-to-heart talks. And that's true. There are videos where I'm not fired up. I'm not triggered. That's why I always try and let you know when it's a triggered video. But I'm feeling it out there. That's the thing. And I'm trying to be as real as possible in these videos. And this is a heart-to-heart talk. This is me telling you how I feel, responding to some of my criticisms, and just being straight up about who I am, what I want to accomplish, and what I've done so far, and my views on it. And, take me or leave me. It's really that simple. And again, just speaking for myself here, might I suggest not putting all your eggs in one basket, becoming dependent on YouTube for your sustenance? That's probably a good idea. And I'm leaning that way. If the channel goes under, the channel goes under. I'll still make videos. I will still even, I'll do what I've committed to as far as the podcast as well. So I'm going to keep doing those things. And if they go under and they become unsustainable financially, then YouTube will go down a notch in priority. And photography will probably be the likely medium that steps up in its place. I can make passive income being a photographer. It takes a while. It takes a lot of work. A lot of editing, a lot of keywording, a lot of marketing. I can step up my photography game. I gave that business, I sidestepped that. I put that on the back burner for YouTube because YouTube, you guys wanted me to. You wanted me to make this content. You wanted me to spend all my time, spare time, working for you guys. And you guys have paid me. And you guys have taken care of me in return. And I'm eternally grateful for that. I know that there may come a time when you're not happy with what I'm doing and I get fired, so to speak. And if that happens, it happens. And the reason I'm working this extra content in is to keep me passionate about the channel, to keep me going. And some of you are very supportive. Some of you are unbelievably supportive of what I've been doing with the new content. And some of you aren't. So there's that. But I know I can't keep everyone happy. And like I said before, I don't want to just preach to the choir. I do want to get new people into the channel. Maybe I have to keep doing that content. And hopefully they stumble on something nutritional or something lifestyle or something mental health that helps them with their life. And they just kind of slip and fall. Oh, I watched all of his, like somebody from the adventure video, travel video community could come to my channel because I did an adventure video or travel video. And they like the video and they subscribe. And then for some reason or another, I do a talking head video after that. And they click on it. Because, hey, we want content from the motherfucker we subscribe to. And then they get something out of what I do in that video. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring new people to the channel that aren't necessarily in the nutritional, keto, fasting world. I want a variety of content. And I want that content to all be part of my journey in one way or another. And it all is, including the adventure videos. Leisure is important. And what you choose to do with your leisure time is important for your mental health. For me, exploring videos and urbex and or just going on a car camping adventure, those are all things that have been very helpful. And you can see it in my face in those videos. I've watched my shit. I have to. I see the look on my face in some of these places, and I'm like, that is what content me looks like. That is what happiness looks like. That is what accomplishment looks like. I look like at the videos where I'm struggling too, and I'm like, that sucked, and I go through the memories of it. So videos are partially for me. Anyways, he goes on to write, perhaps it's okay to keep your audience wanting, like Krispy Kreme once only sold on weekends, and then sales plummeted when they went to the storefront every day of the week, which is another reason I've stepped back from producing a shit ton of content. I don't want to ask a ton of your time. There are people who binge watch my shit and that want me to keep making more shit so they can keep binge watching. But some of the, for example, I'm a Game of Thrones fan. They took an extra year to fucking put this next season together, the final season. And as much as, I miss being able to watch that show, it's an entertainment example. I don't want them to rush it. I don't want them to fuck it up. And they need the time to put it out. I also know that if I oversaturate you with videos, you're not going to watch them all. Some are going to get lost. And that's a lot of work to do for nothing. So I put out the level of content. You're getting extra videos this week. Because I'm taking the time out of my life, and away from making money, by the way, because this video isn't going to make shit, to communicate with you guys on my direction and on my choices and why I'm doing them and where things are going. You have a right to know. You spend a lot of time. You invest time. Some of you invest a lot of money to help this channel, and you deserve to know the future and where I'm going. And right now, this is what I'm doing with my channel, and I want to keep doing it. I know of 2 very successful YouTubers, over 100,000 with high volume views, that do 15-minute daily vlogs. Daily vlogs are a bitch, by the way. I tried it. It wasn't for me. It requires probably 70-hour weeks to produce a daily vlog, unless you're just turning on the camera and running with it. And I don't do that. I wish I could sit here and do that, but I can't. I got too much going on, and that would be putting my eggs in one basket trying to do daily vlogs, because those 15-minute videos, you're probably looking at 2 hours of production time. You're going to look at keywording time, upload time. They may have people, if they got over 100,000, they may be able to hire people to do the other tasks. I'm a one-man band. I have to do every job for this channel. including promotion, including social media, including keywording, including editing, including post-production, including rendering, there's just so much that goes into these videos, so much work, that I can't afford to pump out more than a couple videos a week. Unless I lower the standards of the video, like this one. This is me in front of the camera with my little background, a little less production quality, so that I can get my point across and do so and be able to do so in a timely manner. I could do more of these lazy ass videos where I do it that way, but I get bored with that. I find it mundane. I want to be more creative than that. I'm a creative motherfucker. So I don't just want to do the same fucking thing over and over and over again. Neither should you. Variety is the spice of life, You really gotta get out there and diversify your life and your experiences and step outside of the boxes that we often put ourselves in and do things that are outside of our comfort zone. Either way, give yourself the luxury freedom to explore your photography and video production business. Link to merchandise and shit, t-shirts, stickers, still photography, which, by the way, is another job. Merchandising, another job. You have to come up with the design. You have to go and find somebody to produce the design. Then you have to market it. Then you have to package it. Then you have to ship it. You have to keep up with orders. You have to process orders. If I did that, I'd be a t-shirt salesman or a bumper sticker, pimp. I don't want to get into that merchandising necessarily. I've considered it. I like the affiliate marketing where I can sell other people's shit. I don't mind selling other people's shit. As far as selling my own shit, the only thing I'm really selling, the only product I want to sell at this point that is easy to manage is the podcast. Link in the description. See, look at that. Threw a little fucking sales in there. And that helps support the channel. And it gives you something in return. You get a ton more content. It's audio based, so you don't have to spend time, away from doing other more mundane tasks that you may fill your day with, or you can listen to the show. And that's one of the reasons I brought back the podcast, is I realize you don't want to sit here and stare at the fucking screen all the time, and some people complain endlessly that my videos are too long. This video is too long. But you can listen to this video. You don't have to watch my face the whole time. That's the direction I'm heading. I'm going to continue to produce the content. I'm going to continue the podcast. I'm probably looking to produce at least 2 videos a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes I'll need time off. I'm not boxing myself. The goal is 2 videos per week, one of which is nutritional. The other is whatever the fuck I want to do. Whether it's lifestyle, minimalism, travel, car camping, backpacking, survival, or just vlogging about something, or talking about something I'm passionate about. I want to start giving you guys a little bit more behind the scenes of my life too, to kind of give you a little more of a view of the things I'm doing when I'm not researching nutrition and doing my videos necessarily. I'm going to start carrying my camera gear with me a little more to film as I struggle with these parts of my journey, or when there's times when I have these thoughts and these talks that I want to give that come fleetingly. They pass, and I don't have a camera near me. I could pull out the phone, I guess, but I don't like that. And that I believe would be a good video, talking head video. But they come and go. The ideas come and they go. And if I'm not able to film when they come, then you don't get them. So I'm going to try and be a little bit better about producing a little more of the talking head stuff, but I'm not promising anything. I'm going to do the best I can. If I don't want to burn out, that's the big thing I'm working on, is managing myself. I've overextended myself a bit with the things I'm doing. I need to manage it better, and I'm working on it. But I've gotten a lot of positive, like right underneath that, do more podcasts, I'll definitely buy them. And you guys overwhelmingly stepped up on the podcast, so it's definitely going to be a thing going forward, because it's helping. And I'm going to spend my Friday during the day and part of my Thursday putting together those podcasts right before I go out and do the other work that pays the bills. And if it ever gets big enough to where that pays all the bills, the podcast supports the channel entirely, I will take the ads out of my videos. Maybe at the beginning or the end roll ad, but the mid rolls I'll get rid of. I know it gets annoying when you're watching a video and about a quarter of the way through it, you get a fucking commercial. I know. But it's what I thought I had to do to sustain this. Now that YouTube's pulling that ad revenue away because the algorithm's punishing me because people watched some of the videos and took a shit on it and unsubscribed, or they don't watch as much or whatever, the algorithm it starts to pound on you, and as such, ad revenue drops. Not to mention it might just be an ad revenue famine across the board. So you really got to understand that I'm not an expert. I am just an asshole. That I'm doing the best I can. It might not be good enough for you. And I understand that. All right? I understand. But I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to compromise the things that I'm doing in my life. I'm not going to get rid of good friends because they aren't being healthy. They're not influencing my decisions. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to drink every day or do anything excessive. I'm going to be me. But I'm going to be me that's a good friend. That's there for people who are struggling where I used to struggle. And I am no better than any of my friends that you're judging. Just saying. I'm not any better than them. I don't consider myself any better than anyone, really. I just do the best I can with what I got. And I try and share that with people so that they can do the best they can with what they got. And we all got different baggage. We all got different problems. We all got different issues. We all got different fears. We got different anxiety. We got different emotional disorders. We got different health situations. That's really all there is to it. And I wish we lived in a world that wasn't so triggered, wasn't so judgmental, and wasn't just so outraged over trivial shit most of the time. Why should any of us get angry at somebody because of how they choose to live their life? And the moral of the story is I'm going to live my life the way I see fit. I've learned long ago to not live for other people's opinions of me, for their judgments. It took a long time for me to learn that lesson, to not try and put all my happiness eggs in another person's basket, that I need to carry my own happiness before anyone else will put up with me. And that's really what it's about. All right? That's what this journey is about. That's what these other extra content that I'm doing is about. I'm going to share, and I'm going to keep sharing, even if less people are interested in it. So, that is all I have to say on the subject. I hope I addressed some of your concerns. I welcome the comments, and I want to hear what you guys think. Are you gonna bail? Are you gonna stick it out, and maybe you won't like all the content I do? That's up to you. I can't force anybody to watch my shit, and nor would I. This is my channel. This is my journey. And this is my future. Everyone else is along for the ride on that. For those of you that have been supportive and still want to continue to do so, you can head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com, leave a tip in that virtual tip jar. Also, if in case you weren't unaware, I'm doing the weekly podcast now. It's $5 a download at ScottTheTruckDriver.com. That helps continue to support the time I put in and the effort I put into these videos. Or you can go to Patreon and at a discount, if you upgrade to the $15 a month option on Patreon, you get all of those podcasts for free with that support for the channel. 15 or higher, you get it pretty much. And I'm going to continue to do that as long as people want it. If I pump out podcasts and nobody buys them, then that's the end of the podcast. That's how that works. But if somebody wants it, I'll do it. The goal is to have at least 10 people by the podcast to make it worth the time I put into it and the effort I put into it. We met that goal and exceeded that goal with the first podcast, so I will continue to do this. If it drops down, if my podcasts are shit, then that'll be that. But I'm making a try. And I'm going to keep trying new shit. I'm going to be trying new content, trying new videos, trying new ideas. You know, some of the videos I put out are experimental. I'm like, well, are they going to take a shit on this? Well, here you go. Let's see. You know, and I risk losing people because people can be fickle sometimes. And if you do one thing they don't like, then they're done with you. If you support the channel and you want to stick it out, just keep in mind, occasionally, I'm going to put out videos you don't like, or that you might not be into, and just be patient until I get to the videos that do. You know, it's really all that is. Or move on and find somebody who only panders to you. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of YouTubers I follow that pander to their specific audience, put out the same shit, that tell you what you want to hear over and over and over again. And I get bored with that. And I don't watch them because I get bored with it. I don't think anyone's going to get bored with my shit if I diversify my content. There's always something in those videos. And I'm always going to try and introduce my philosophies no matter what I'm doing. Whether I'm out on an adventure or I'm out on the trail, like I did with talking about fasting while I was out there. There's always going to be these little nuggets in those extra videos, so keep an eye out for them. You know, if you only watch the first 10 minutes and you're like, fuck this shit, you might miss out. Just saying. Watch them at double speed until you get to a part that's good, that you like. I don't know. You know, there's ways of doing it. But I know that not every video I do is going to be well received by everybody that's here. And I've come to terms with that going forward. So those of you who continue to support the channel at ScottTheTruckDriver.com, I appreciate you, and I will continue to do my thing here. Also, if you want me to keep doing this, like and subscribe, click the bell, and you want me to keep making more shit, and I'll keep making more shit. But I'm going to make the shit I want to make, and the shit that you want me to make, that you came here for, too. You know, but I'm not going to just sit here and just crank and crank and crank, preaching to the choir. I want to bring new people here that are outside the realm of nutrition, fasting, and minimalism. And the way I do that is diversifying my content. So I hope you guys like that. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm kind of nervous about this particular video. Let's see how this shit goes. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit.